Hey guys, continuing coverage from AHR 2025. This is a lot of fun. I'm excited, Adam. We've got Adam Boss from Viega. Andy, let's get right into it. What do you see on this table that is super exciting to you?
All of it. I mean, granted, we got, the OG, right?
The OG
press fittings.
Yep.
But this thing.
So you guys announced this last year or early this year, right?
Late last year
Okay.
is when we first announced it, but it is really gaining a lot of popularity and traction at the beginning of the year.
So this is for transition from iron pipe size like galvanized or black iron to copper press or even PEX.
There's a lot of different applications for it, but that is definitely a big one. We have a lot of galvanized lines out there that need replacing.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to get down under the foundation into the dirt, this is a great way to transition that system out.
So what makes this, is it dielectric or what's the material made of? Why can we go from copper to black iron without any problems there?
Well, we got some technical explanation here, but we don't have to get into it too much. But what we're doing, everybody knows you're not going from copper directly.
Right.
That's going to
Cathode, anode.
That's going to cause a lot of issues. Everybody knows that. But if you take the bronze fitting, which we've never done in the mega press side,
Okay.
nobody's had a pipe connection on the bronze side. You connect this here. This is galvanically similar,
Right.
much more so than this, and the same here. So basically, instead of creating one large battery, you're creating two very small ones that may have an insignificant effect on the overall system.
So the other side of this bronze fitting is copper tube size, so we can even go to where are we at here?
Yeah, you can throw a
PEX adapter there.
Yeah, you can throw a pure flow adapter on there and transition directly to whatever material you need to, the copper system, if that's what your homeowner wants or your system requires, or you can go into the PEX side.
Can you go to, so we're looking at copper fittings only though for that transition, is that correct?
Well, the bronze transition fitting here on the mega press side, you can then put the bronze pro press to the pure flow,
Okay.
the common adapter we've had all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Going to this.
Exactly
Here you
right.
got a half inch bronze by pure flow.
And it's NSF, but we can also use it on heating systems, is that right?
Of course, yes. So this is NSF approved, NSF 61 for toxicity and health effects, everything you need for your potable water system.
Okay.
What's max temp range?
Oh, it's going to be the same that we have for all of our systems with the EPDM, so 250 degrees.
250. So we got lots of flexibility.
Yeah.
That covers everything basically.
Right.
Like as far as the transition, like I could see for hydronics, for potable water distribution.
Right.
Galvanized to PEX, black iron to copper, whatever you need, we're trying to help you get covered on that. But we've also got it in an IPS to IPS configuration. So it's not just for residential potable water systems. If you happen to be going from a black iron to a stainless,
Right.
you can do that pipe to pipe here.
Is this the same bronze material as the smaller fitting?
It's the same bronze material, that's correct. And we go from 1/2 to 2 inch, just like all of our normal product lines.
And so transitions are 1/2 to 2 inch, couplings like this are at 1/2 to 2 inch as well.
Correct.
Okay, so before we got filming here, you showed us a couple fittings. I just noticed there's a 1/2 inch
Oh yeah.
here. This is something that's been in your catalog for a while, but honestly, it's the first time
Nobody
we've ever
knows.
put our hands on one. So let's get into this. What are these things?
Yeah, so you got a 1/2 inch version, I've got a 3/4 inch version. What this is a temporary connection for pure flow. So if you need to do a test, I know maybe you've done a wing of a hospital and you've got a pure flow end sticking out there and you need to put that on test for the inspector. This has a contour that matches up with our ProPress fittings, and you spin this closed and you'll see in the inside of this, you've got a seal here that's going to match up with the inside of our seat. So you just throw this on there and you've got your temporary seal up to 200 PSI. So I'll just have one of these thrown in the tool bag,
Yeah.
pull it out and have a gauge on here, throw another valve on there. This also has the opportunity to put a hose on here if you need a drain, anything like that.
Yeah.
But you could also do it's a 1/2 inch pipe thread. This
Yeah.
valve is
If
removable.
you don't need that hose connection, you can pull this off and you've got a 1/2 inch MPT, and like I said, you can attach your
like a test gauge
Test
rig,
gauge.
whatever.
yeah,
you're doing.
whatever you need to have your typical connection. So there's your 1/2 inch right there. And then again, you just spin that off to pull the contour out.
So you're not burning a fitting on a test
Or
just
cap.
to get a test, or
Right?
cap
So normally you
or
throw a cap
Yeah,
on
put
there
a
and cut
bullet
it
in the
off
cup
later.
wing, something.
This
Yeah.
prevents that over and over and over again.
Yeah. So currently available half, 3/4.
Correct.
You guys, and again, you've had this forever.
Yeah, it's been in the catalog a long time, but
I feel privileged to release this out to the general public.
yeah,
like
brand
first-
new
seen it first
right
here.
now, just for you.
Yeah, I see it first here on Mechanical Hub.
Right.
No, that's awesome. So what else is new in Viega world this year? What are we talking about? I know you've got some new valves. You got to kind of expanded your balancing, shutoffs, all that kind of stuff.
We are constantly expanding our valve lineup right now. We've had the ball valves for a really long time, but what we're looking at now is that full breadth of 1/2 to 4 inch for every material that you've got. And then above and beyond that, we're looking at getting your system set up for hydronic side, for potable side balancing. We've got automatic valves, we've got manual valves for your balancing systems, check valves and strainers. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You have even actuator balancing valves.
Pressure independent control valve. Yep, throw an actuator on there, put it into your building management system.
I love cutaways. Can you just dispel any myths about what's going on inside of these fittings? Why do we hear so much? We see in the comments, we talk about dynamic and what's a dynamic sealing, and then the static
Seal versus
stuff like
dynamic
that.
seal. Sure.
It's really just kind of what's the biggest myth behind pressing that you guys have to try to dispel?
Look, you guys have been out in the field a long time. You understand that
Yep.
O-rings are a wearable surface.
Yeah.
And there's an issue with the understanding of what's actually going inside of here. The seal that's in here does not move, so we call it a static seal. If I were to rotate this or move this or whatever, that is what you would see when you're moving a faucet handle or
Yeah.
anything that's... So
Yeah.
this is not a wearable surface, and that's the key point, is this seal is compressed and has been tested through an incredible amount of
Temperature, pressure.
exactly heating,
Right.
flame tests,
Expansion,
all sorts
contraction.
of stuff that we've gone through, vibration, tons and tons of testing. But that sealing element does not move in there. It provides your sealing surface, and that is its job for the length of its lifetime.
Fantastic. I know Andy and I, like when the MegaPress gas got all of its certifications, now was available into the market a few years ago, it just changed how we did
Everything.
all of our jobs.
Yeah.
Immediately, even from the residential, like small scale repairs and kind of additions to piping systems all the way up from there.
Right.
There's no end to it now. So you guys are covered like every type of piping system with your press altogether, right?
The adoption of MegaPress gas has been incredible. Obviously, the introduction of ProPress over 25 years ago took a while to really gain some market understanding, but it
Yeah.
is changing the game. But that understanding of press is driving the adoption on our new materials. They're understanding that Viega is the guys to go to when you're doing press. So when MegaPress gas comes along, and you guys, it's been around for 12 years now,
Has
MegaPress
that
gas.
been that long?
It's crazy.
I guess time
Yep.
really does fly when you're having fun. No, but I mean, all the systems too. I brought up MegaPress gas, but you can do steam piping, low pressure steam piping. You can do process piping. You can do manufacturing. You can do potable water, of course. You've got stainless fittings. You've got fittings that are made for heating systems, non-potable water, stuff like that.
The press systems that Viga's got is carbon steel, stainless steel, pipe and tubing, copper, plastics. You got the PEX side. The opportunities for you to create your business in a way that is viable in the long term is incredible. I really love seeing businesses take off and be successful with our products, because your success is our success.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And I think that's, you mentioned that, it's been around 25 years here in the North America anyway. But we have this conversation with my guys, customers, of how many of these fittings do we install and where we have issues. And I look back at my days of soldering, the first 10 years of my career or whatever, where we soldered everything. And our leak rate wasn't high, but it was nothing. Like there's no comparison. We're maybe 1 in 1,500, 1 in 2,000 presses where we have an issue with some press fitting, which is almost never because we put it together right.
Yeah, that's called the law of large numbers, right? If you do an incredible amount, you're going to see some failures.
Right.
But just the understanding from the field and the reliability that comes with the Viega press connections is understood after you're using it over and over and over again.
It has changed a lot. It's worth bringing up too, just to kind of close this out. Like when we started pressing early on, I know a company I worked for, we were doing it like 99, 2000. That's when we started pressing very limited amounts of installations because the catalog wasn't deep. There wasn't a lot to choose from at that time. It was looked at as being expensive, but once the company started seeing the labor savings, because that's a real story, right? Once I started full-time in my job, for my own business, is right when battery tools were hitting the market.
Right.
Like it was they were brand new in North America. So you look at the tooling up part of it, was expensive.
Sure.
I look back when we started, we had like 45 pound electric, the CT 400 or whatever that was.
It's a beast.
It is a beast. And now like we got a couple tools sitting down here. They're compact, they're super easy to, they're crazy. You can work with them overhead. There's very little safety factor to worry about because they're just like most other tools we use already. They're not very much different in their form factor. So it's become more accessible. It's familiar, you know what I mean? They're tools made by two major brands that we're very familiar with. That's a huge plus.
Well, I mean, you just look at the AHR show that we're at right now, and you've got people coming in going, yeah, of course, we know who presses. We use you guys all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was very, very different before. You're sitting here convincing people and having that understanding. And that still goes on, so there's still work to be done. But it is very exciting times to be a part of the plumbing industry when you're utilizing cool technology.
Okay, one last thing. Can we do the pressure test, bend test, or?
I'll never not do the bend test.
Okay, we're gonna do some more, guys. Stay tuned. All right, Adam, this is my favorite part. I've done it a few times. You want me to show you how we do this?
You're the best.
All right, Adam, we gotta make sure our pipe is prepped like this.
That's right.
I'm telling the engineer at Viega how to do it. No, we're good. Typically, you wanna make sure there's nothing on the pipe, right? But this is really clean. Everybody watching is gonna have to take my word for it.
Yep, you're looking for permanent coating.
Okay, so I use are we using this fitting here?
Yep.
Okay, I use the fitting as a depth marker. Is that okay by Viega?
You can use the fitting as a dry fit as long as you're already in there, and then you use your marker to put that full depth insertion in there, you're gonna be covered. There's a couple other options that you can do, but that is the fastest way.
It is the fastest way. I know I get a lot of blowback on that, but it's nice to hear it from Viega. So we're marked for depth, so we want to press that.
Yep, let's make it happen.
You got a tool?
Right here.
All right, you do it, man. You do it.
Done it before, I'll do it again. Make sure that's fully inserted on that line. That's why that line is there.
We're good.
We'll make that connection.
Yeah, it's a permanent connection.
That's not coming off anytime that I know about.
We're tight on here. All right, so we want to do the other side. We're good. So we're gonna mark that, right?
Yep.
Oh, hold on.
You're good. It'll just come out right here.
So you're filling the pipe with water right now?
Yep.
The hydrostatic pump over there?
And it's a gas system, so not normally doing water, but
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to see than air.
We're gonna have a leak in a second, or you want me to hold off on that?
There it is.
There we
Oh
go.
my
So you're gonna
gosh.
see some water coming out of there. That means we got an unpressed connection.
Hold on. I started the button by accident.
We know that pipe is marked, and even with water flowing out of there, you'll see that seal right up.
That's so cool. That's so cool. All right, so now we're gonna pump her up until we get water here.
Yeah, we're gonna purge the air out of there so we're not making a bomb with our piping system here.
There it is. All right, we're
Shut that
filled
off.
with water. We're gonna do a hydrostatic
Where do we want to go to?
pressurization.
Well, test pressures are gonna be up to 200 PSI for air, 600 with water. So we have water in the system.
Where do we want to go? 350?
Yeah, 350, sounds good to me.
Can't you get it to 600?
You want 600?
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Check that gauge out. We're at 550.
Lane, get in here with the camera. We got to show 600 PSI on this baby. Okay.
There you are, 625,
There you go.
610.
All right, here's the next step. Can I bend it?
You know, in a typical system, it's not going to happen this way, but we like to show the durability of our fittings. Let's make it happen.
So this is tight, right? So these are actually approved for a swing joint as well, too, right?
They are. Yeah, so you're
this-
going to maintain pressure while rotating this connection.
That's just water coming off of the piping, actually. Where are we at? Oh, did we?
You've got a lot of relaxation in the cord here.
Okay, okay. Now we're good?
625.
So 625 PSI. I'm going to pull on that. Are we going to?
What's going to happen here is you're going to end up with a lot less area or volume inside of here, and it's going to
Increase pressure?
increase the pressure because water's incompressible. So let's see what happens.
We sure about
Get
that?
after it.
Here, let me watch the video. Go ahead, Eric.
So imagine a forklift or something backing up into your piping system.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're probably up over about 1,000 pounds.
1,000 PSI now.
That's wild.
We max that needle out, it's pointing straight down.
It's way over 1,000 PSI now because we decrease the volume inside the pipe by compressing it like that, right?
Yep.
These guys are going to be really
Yeah, we're in
unhappy
the
with
danger
this.
zone over here. They have no idea what's about to happen.
Am I going to open that up?
You better warn them a little bit.
Hey guys, spread out a little bit.
You're gonna get wet.
It might get
pounds.
wet, I don't know. It's just fair warning.
Welcome to the plumbing show.
That's wild. And it doesn't even break, man. Can't get over how strong these are.
Right.
If that's not testament, guys, that just the technology and the engineering you put into this and the trust that we can have out in the field and just accepting this connection point, because it didn't leak. We're up over 1,000 PSI.
It's a
Right.
trust that I have standing here in this trade show booth right now doing that at 1,000 PSI.
I know, I'm sure we're gonna see in the comments like, dude, you're gonna get hurt or something, but I didn't. We're good. We've done this before. It's fun.
I've done it hundreds of times.
Adam, dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thanks, Adam.
Guys, if you haven't already, check out the Mechanical Hub YouTube channel. We're covering everything at AHR. It's been a lot of fun. Adam, really appreciate you having us in the Viega booth. Andy, let's go to the next one.
Let's go.
See you guys.